write down the size of angle A, the size of angle OBD, the size of angle C, the size of angle BDO. Right. So now in this diagram you are told that O is the center of the circle. So if you are told that O is the center of the circle, it means now you can check if ever you do have some of the theorems that you were taught in the classroom. Okay, so when you check here the vertex A, B and D as well as O, you can see that we do have what? We do have the angle at center equals to 2 times the angle at the circumference of a circle. It means now you can say 120, it is equals to 2 times angle W. Why do you say this? It is because here we have what? We have angle at center, it is equals to 2 times angle at the circumference of a circle. Okay, so this will be the reason. So now you have to divide, you divide both sides by 2. You divide both sides by 2 because you want to get rid of this these 2 and you remain with the W. Okay, so you cancel this and 120 divided by 2, it is equals to 60 degrees, and then you got this one correct now. So let's try to determine the size of X, the angle C there. So with this angle here, which is X, you can use 2 methods. How do we calculate that? Now you can check. Look, A, B, C, D. These are points at the circumference of a circle. Okay. So now if we have this point at the circumference of a circle, you know that you are forming a cyclic quadrilateral. So the opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral, they add up to 180, or they are supplementary. These 2 angles are supplementary. Okay, so now you can say that our angle 60 plus angle X, it is equals to 180 degrees. Why do you say that 60 plus X, it is equals to 180 degrees? This is because we have what? We have a cyclic what? Cyclic quad. Okay, we do have a cyclic quad here. So since A, B, C, D is a cyclic quad, therefore opposite angles are what? Are supplementary. Now you can solve for X. So our X here will be equals to 180 degrees minus 60 degrees. So 180 minus 60 degrees, we are getting 120 degrees. Okay. So now if you do not want to use the cyclic quad, it means you can firstly determine angle O2. So to determine angle O2, in this case, you are going to say that 120 degrees plus angle O2, it is equals to 360 degrees. But the reason here, it will be angles around a point. So these are angles around what? Around a point. So the angles around a point, they give you what? They give you 360 degrees. So now you can determine O2. So O2, in this case, our O2 it is equal to 360 degrees minus 120 degrees. Okay, so 360 minus 120 degrees. If we are to use our calculators, we are getting 240 degrees. So this will be 240 degrees. So we know that angle O2 is 240 degrees, right? So now, since this one is equals to 240 degrees, you can be able to determine angle X, whereby you say angle at theta is equals to 2 times angle at the circumference of a circle. So it means here our X or 240, yes, 240 degrees, it is equals to 2 times angle X, okay? So the reason here it will be angle at the center, it is equals to 2 times angle at the circumference of a circle, okay? So now you have to divide both sides by 2. So whenever you divide both sides by 2, you are getting 120 degrees. So this will be 120 degrees. The very same 120 degrees that we got when we use the cyclic quadrilateral to say that opposite angles are supplementary. So let's try to determine angle Y and Z. Okay, to determine angle Y and Z, in this case, to determine angle Y and Z, you can see that we do have a triangle OBD. So in triangle or OBD, in triangle OBD, we know that OB is equals to OD. Why do you say OB is equals to OD? It is because these are the radius of the circle, because we're told that O is the center, right? So from O to B, it is equals to from O to D. So Y is equals to Z, right? So our angle Y is equals to angle Z. Angle Y is equals to angle Z. Why do you say this? It is because we have what? Angles opposite equal what? Equal sides. Okay, so we do have angles opposite equal sides. So therefore now we know that instead of using Y, we can say this is Z and Z. So instead of using Z, we can say it's Y and Y, because Y is equals to Z or Z is equals to Y, right? So we are going to use sum of angles in a triangle. Therefore, you can just use Z. Let me just use Z, okay? So Z will be equals to 180 degrees minus 120 degrees divided by 2. Why am I dividing by 2? It is because whenever you are saying Y plus Z plus 120 degrees equals to 180 degrees, and then you are going to say sum of angles in a triangle or interior angles of a triangle, okay, or angles of a triangle. Therefore now, if you want to replace Y, you are going to use Z, so it will be Z plus 120 degrees equals to 180 degrees, right? So Z plus Z is 2Z. Is 2Z, which is equals to 180 minus 120 that I wrote here, and then you divide both sides by 2, and Z will be equals to. Do you see that? So that's how I arrived to 180 minus 120 degrees divided by 2. And the reason here we said that these are what are sum of angles in a what? In a triangle. Okay, so from this part here, now you can determine you can determine your angle Z and Y. So let me just use a calculator. When I divide by 2, we are getting 30. So Z, it is equals to 30 degrees. Even here, I was going to write 30 degrees. Okay. So now, since we know that this is a 30, 30 and 30, and then this is 120 degrees. So if you can add 120 plus 30 plus 30, you are going to get 180 degrees, because these are sum of angles in what? In a triangle. So if you are to add as well 60 plus 120, we are getting 180 to show that A, B, C, D is a cyclic quadrilateral. Thank you very much. That's how you can determine W, X, Y, and Z. Good.